Yeah. Okay, so good morning. I'm going to start, recording the lesson. The unit is 4A. This is on page 46. And the name of the unit is Fast Lane to the Future. Okay. I'm going to share the screen so as to show you some little information about, let's see, about the vocabulary. I think it's here. I think that, let me do it again. Vocabulary. Here it is. Okay, we are sharing, a little information. Yeah. Okay, so here we have, you see, Kimberly, in order to start the unit, I have some notes about the vocabulary to understand. You see the sorry, the title of the unit that is called Fast Lane to the Future. In this note, I just wrote, what the fast lane means here. That is part of a highway that is used to drive fast, see, and pass other cars and vehicles. And the phrase fast lane to the future, is sometimes or often used metaphorically. For example, when we talk about life in the fast lane, in this case, we mean to talk about people, who are financially and socially successful and live busy and exciting lives. Okay, now in this case, when we talk about the title, you see the first part of the reading says, number one, look at the title of the article. The title is Fast Lane to the Future. And look at the photo and the map. Okay, and then it says, what do you think the article is about? Well, if we look at the, you see the photo, we can see people here. Well, you can tell me what you see, and the map, and then we can understand the meaning of the, the article. Okay, what do you see in this picture first?
I see people in their bikes with like driving in a highway.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a map of India, so I'm guessing the story is from there.
Yeah.
And there's also like an animal in the bottom of the image.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe this is, like probably you see a highway, but it's maybe an old, I think it's an old highway, right? And maybe because we can see animals, you see. So maybe in modern highways today, the ones that we call sometimes super highways, animals are not allowed, to be, there. I mean, to be in these places because it's very dangerous. They can cause accidents, right? Okay, so, and we see also, I see a car, some tracks maybe. Yeah, these are tracks, I think. Old tracks, probably. And so the idea of the fast lane to the future, what do we mean when we say that? Because we see here, also here, see riding motorcycles or motorbikes. And I think it's kind of dangerous. Do you see one of the people here that is riding a motorbike, and there is a child. Do you see here? Yeah, it's a kid. I think maybe he's 4 or 5 years old, no more than that. Can you see?
I see it.
Yeah, so this is very dangerous, right? Because I think that kids are not allowed, you see, I mean, to be in these types of, transportation, because it's dangerous. Okay, so according to this, Kimberly, so what can we say? I mean, what does this title, suggest here?
I'm guessing it's like a highway to their jobs or something like that, because if we base it on the vocabulary you just said, it's a way that it's telling us that they are successful.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right, so I just wrote here, I don't know if you can see the screen in red. Do you see in red here? I wrote something in red.
Mm-hmm.
It's used, yeah. So it's used in the title. It's used. It means the use of the word fast lane to the future, right? That's what I refer to when I say it's used. In the title, suggests that the road, you see the road, this road that we can see, will rapidly turn India into a more modern country. That's the idea, because it is supposed that they are going to have a new, highway, and maybe the highway that they are going to have in the future, maybe in the near future, is going to be different to this one that we can see here, right? Maybe it's going to be a highway, you see, where, for example, the cars, the vehicles, maybe the trucks, etc., buses, etc., can drive, you see, at high speed, so people can arrive, at different places faster. And the idea is that maybe this highway that it says that it's going to turn India into a more modern country, because here we can see that it's not a modern country when we can see the picture, right? The picture shows that it's kind of an old, you see, place because of the animals that we see here and the kind of trucks that you can see, etc. So this is the idea. I mean, what the title suggests, right? That the road will rapidly turn India, you see, fast lane to the future, because it's to the future, you see, turn India into a more modern country. And the idea of this, maybe a new highway, will allow maybe people to, let's say, to go to different also cities in India, especially the most important cities in India, right? Especially the five of the world's populous cities in India, like, for example, Delhi. That Delhi, that this is the capital of India, right? Maybe the other important city is in India, Mumbai, that you can see in the map. Bangalore also. And we have here in the map Chennai and Kolkata. These are the most important cities in India. So maybe the idea of this highway is that it is going to connect, these most populous, I think, cities, right? So this is something good, I think. This is something very good. I mean, especially to a country like India, right? I think it's a very
Yeah.
let's say maybe advantageous part of the country. I think it's very important for the people, of India. Okay, so let's start checking the article to see if we are right or if we are wrong. Can you read it? This is called Fast Lane to the Future
Okay.
in Bangalore.
Meena Chekaran, a 23-year-old accountant for a company that imports exercise equipment, has just purchased a scooter. She's about to go for her first drive on a newly finished section of the superhighway. I ask if she has a driver's license. No, sir, no. She giggles. Do you know how to drive? No, sir, not really. She shouts back cheerfully, don't worry, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, go on, because you read very well, so you can do it. Near.
yeah, I can't really see what it's written in red, so I'm just going to skip
It
it.
says near. Okay, near Chennai. Near
Okay,
Chennai.
okay. Tamil Selvan's family are coconut farmers. Farming is hard work and doesn't pay well as a child. Tamil rode to school
Mhm.
uh, several miles away on his father's bicycle. Now the 29-year-old works as a senior technician at the giant Hyundai car
Hyundai.
factory.
Mhm.
Today, most of the cars are
Export.
exported, but with the luck, Selvan might soon own one of the cars he makes. Auto industry experts predict that India will be the world's third largest car market in the next quarter of a century.
Mhm.
Uh,
In
in
West
West Bengal,
Bengal. In West.
In West Bengal, there are rumors in the press that some farmers might lose their land to the superhighway. I'm sick with worry. What will we eat? How will we live? What is the future for of our children? Asked Kashinath Mana,
Mhm.
who currently grows food for his entire extended family on his plot of land. In Mumbai, Sweden, Sweet Morten Anderson, a manager at Nokia factory that employs 9,000 people, says India is full of entrepreneurs. People here are creative, driven, full of energy and new ideas. The new superhighway is an example of this. Of this,
Oh,
the
this.
road will certainly bring lots of jobs and help many people. That's the nature of progress.
Yeah. Okay. So we are right in terms of, you see, what the title suggests. So this is the idea that this role, in other words, will, rapidly turn this country into a more modern one because they are thinking of having a super highway. You see, and I put it here what a super highway. If you see on the screen, I put it the meaning what you mean by this, which is a multi-lane highway designed for high speed traffic. This is the idea. So maybe a superhighway usually have 5 lanes to one direction and 5 lanes to the other direction, right? So I think it's like a very, very modern, you see, highway that they call superhighway. So this is, really important for this country in order to be, you see, more, let's say, more modern, and also, I mean, to offer, for example, better services to the inhabitants of this country. Okay, so here we are. Well, there are some expressions here in this text, maybe that you don't have it here, but I put it sick with worry, right? Sick with worry, that you find it in the text. That means extremely, worried. The other words that you find in the text, you find it here, like driven, for example, that means focused or determined. That's driven. Also, we can also say driven. We can add another word that can also be motivated. Okay, entrepreneur. That's a very a word that we're using a lot nowadays because entrepreneur means someone who starts, new businesses, new companies. So it's what we can call today, for example, Kimberly, is these people that are having, businesses like emprendedores. Also, they call empresarios, right? Entrepreneurs. Okay, and well, giggle, you know what giggle is? Giggle is a verb and also to be a noun. This is when people, as a verb, means to laugh, right? To laugh, maybe in a nervous way, for example. And as a noun, a way of laughing. That's a giggle. Plot, well, is a small piece of, farmland. Okay, so according to this vocabulary, you can understand better. Well, the first paragraph, here is not difficult, right? Because we're talking about here, the author tells us about Meena Shekaran, who is, an accountant. And for a company whose activity is to import equipment for doing exercise. And this person has just bought, purchased means also bought a scooter. And this person is a woman and she's about to go for her first drive, and on a newly finished section of the superhighway. So she's, for the first time that she's going to use part of this, superhighway. And then it says, I ask if she has a driver's license. I ask, someone asked, I ask if she has, a driver's license. It says, no, no, sir, no. She giggles, maybe she laughs. And do you know how to drive? No, sir, not really. Wow, this is kind of dangerous. She shouts back cheerfully, don't worry, I'll be fine. Okay, you see, so this is maybe the idea of this person is a woman, you see, that she has just purchased a scooter. You know what a scooter is, right? It's a motor, it's a like simple, you know, motorcycle. Similar, it's not the same as the one we have here. It's similar to what you know as Vespas. You know the Vespas? Vespas? Sometimes you know the police women in Chile sometimes use these. You see, it's not a scooter, right? It's not a scooter, but anyway, it's something that where you can go from one place to another, right? Okay, in the second paragraph, we have another person that is Tamil, right? And well, maybe as a child, this person rode to school several miles away on his father's bicycle, you see. And now, well, he's not, he's younger now, and he's 29 years old. And now he works, he's a senior technician in a very important company, factory, and this is Hyundai. And today, you know, most of these cars are exported, but with luck, Selvan might soon own one of the cars he makes. Maybe he doesn't have a car, but it says with luck, he might soon, own one of the cars he makes. And auto industry experts, you know, predict that India will be the world's third largest car market in the next quarter of a century. Wow, that would be great. Well, and then we have the other people, you know, in West Bengal, there are rumors that farmers may lose their land to the superhighway. Yeah, this is something that sometimes may happen, especially when people start building a superhighway, right? So some people sometimes lose the land, so the government has to pay for that piece of land they are going to use in order to build a superhighway. That's why he says, I'm sick with worry. You see, I am extremely worried. That's the idea. So what will we eat? Says, how will we live? What is the future of our children? Asks, you know, Kashinath Mana, who this person, you know, grows food for his entire, you know, extended family on his piece of land. So she has a farm, maybe a small place. In Mumbai, you know, we have another person who's a manager, and he works for the Nokia factory. And you know, this factory employs a lot of people, more than 9,000 people. Says India is, and he says that India, this is interesting to know that India is full of these people, right, of entrepreneurs. And they say that this is good because these people are, you know, have certain characteristics, like they are very creative, they're driven. Remember, driven, not like to drive a car. Driven meaning determined, right, or motivated, etc. Focused. That's the idea of driven here, and also full of energy and new ideas. And they say that as an example of this characteristics of these people from here, the superhighway is an example of this. And then it says the road will certainly bring, so he's assuring something, you know, the road will certainly bring lots of jobs and help many people. That's the nature of progress. Yeah, so this is something good for India. Okay, according to this, we have an example here in the table that we have to complete, Kimberly, that says we have a name, you have the job of the people, and the employer. Well, this is also important. I didn't put it here, but there is a difference between employer and employee. Do you know the difference, Kimberly?
The employer
and employee.
An employer is the person that hires, and the employee is the person that works.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. You know, the employee is the worker, right? Someone who is paid to work, you know. Okay, for a company. And the employer is the person or the company that pays people, you know, to work for them. You're right. That's the idea. Good. Okay, according to this, Kimberly, I'm going to help you, of course. We are going to discover the jobs that these people have, right? We have, for example, Nina Shekaran. According to this text, According to
She's
this
an
text, what is
accountant.
her job? Yeah, she's an accountant. Good, she's an accountant. All right. Everybody knows, I think, most of the people that are going to listen to this or are going to watch this video know what an accountant is. Anyway, accountant is someone that is, whose job is to work with, numbers, especially at, different companies. Okay, and the employer here is an importer, the employer. So the person who hires, as you said, for example, someone is an importer. Okay, it could be a factory, for example. In number 2, we have Tamil Selvam. Tamil Selvam. What is his job?
He's a coconut farmer.
Yeah, or if you are more specific,
A farmer.
more. I mean, it says here in the Tamil, he says here, yeah, he's 29 years old and he works as a senior
Oh,
technician. Yeah, so maybe I think that this person is a
oh,
senior.
his family
Yeah,
were the
yeah,
coconut farmers. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
he's a senior
So,
technician, right?
okay.
Good. And what about the employer? Who is the employer?
The Hyundai
Yeah, is the
car.
Hyundai. Yeah, Hyundai car factory. Good. Hyundai car factory. In the next person, that is Kashina Mana. What is the job of this person? Kashina Mana. Yeah, Kashina Mana. I have it here. Yeah, here it is.
This person is a farmer.
Yeah, this person is a farmer. Good, is a farmer, right? Kashina. Okay, this is, I think, a man, right? Kashina farmer. It's a farmer. Okay, and who's the employer?
It says here self-employed.
Yeah, he says he's self-employed. Good. Morten Anderson. Morten Anderson. Morten
A,
Anderson.
a manager.
Yeah, he's a manager. And who is the employer?
Nokia.
Yeah, it's Nokia factory. Good, Nokia factory. All right. So we go to the other part here. Well, I don't know if you want to say something more about the article, Kimberly, about the article first. So about the.
I think it's interesting how one person disagrees with the how this highway is going to change everything. This person just is afraid. The farmer is afraid of the change. That's the
Yeah,
only thing I noticed.
yeah, okay, good. Yeah, because he's afraid because he may lose, the maybe farmers may lose their land, right? That's why this is the person maybe that he's not completely, maybe satisfied with this idea. Yeah, I think you're right. But the rest of the people, I think they are okay because when we talk about, for example, I mean, in which some ways, in which our towns, for example, have changed their lifetimes. Maybe one of the example is the new roads, right? So new roads, like for example, super highways, etc. I think they are good for the country, right? Because in this way, maybe for example, the trucks that take food to different cities that are like sometimes away from the capital city, I think it's good because they can have the opportunity to have the same products that, for example, Santiago, as our capital, has. So the same products that they have, we can also have. Or people who live, for example, in the south of Chile, thanks to these super highways or highways, they can have, the same products, or they can have the possibility of having, for example, technology, the new technology too, right? Like, for example, the TV sets or equipments or computers, laptops, etc., right? Because there are special trucks that take these, products to different places. Okay, I think it's good. It's part of, progress, I think, when they build, these super highways. Mhm.
I agree with you.
Yeah, okay. So, and well, something important, it has advantages also, I think, Kimberly. When we build a superhighway, it takes a lot of time. Do you have any idea about how much time does it take to build a superhighway in a country? A
Uh,
superhighway that can connect five or more cities?
well, maybe like, I don't know, 5 years or something, or
Yeah,
more.
yeah, exactly. From 3 to 5 years. So this is it has an advantage. The advantage is that it provides, jobs, right? So because many people work, when they start building a super highway. So this is an advantage because we can give the opportunity to different people, to have a job. So maybe they can have money, for a living. So this is good. This is something positive, right? So to have jobs. I mean, in this case, we can reduce, the rate of unemployment, right? Okay, so I think this is important, right? Because instead of having not only, the traditional roads or rural roads that sometimes, Kimberly, for example, in our country, these roads are not very good, right? They are not in good conditions. Although in Chile, I think the roads, I mean, have improved a lot because now we have better highways, right? So they are, I mean, I think it's a better possibility for people who live, for example, in the inner cities, right? Okay, or in rural places also. So they can have the opportunity to go from one place to another faster, right? Okay, so this is something I think I like when we have, good roads or good highways. I think it's important for people in general. All right, let's go with the other part because then we have to continue. I mean, I want to check the grammar for predictions out. Read the article again and complete the sentences. Well, we can remember. It says here, believes that the road represents progress in India. Well,
Swede,
yeah,
Swede.
yeah, this is the, this is, I think it's Morton. Yeah, Morton, what is, I think, that's the person that thinks about this. Morton, believes that the road represents
Oh
progress
yeah,
in India. Morton,
Swede Morton.
yeah,
Okay.
Sweet Morton, yeah, believes that the road represents progress. Has bought a new vehicle to drive on the road. Who has bought a new vehicle?
Mina, the
Mina,
first person.
right? Yes, Mina Shekaran. Yeah, Mina Shekaran, right? Yes, she has bought a scooter. Remember, a scooter. Yeah, and then we have is worried about the future. Who's worried about the future?
Kashinat, I
Yeah,
think it's his
Kathina.
first name.
Kathina. I think it's Kathina. Kathina.
Mm-hmm.
Kathina. Yes, Kathina. Kathina is worried about the future and makes cars that might end up on the road. Makes cars. That is, I think it's Tamil.
Mm-hmm.
Tamil, yeah, Tamil, right. So Tamil Selvan. So Tamil makes cars that might end up on the road. Yeah, I think it's Tamil. Let me see, Tamil. Yeah, this is the guy that works for Hyundai. Remember Hyundai car factory? Tamil. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it says, do you think the new road? Yeah, okay, this is something for you. This is very important because we can ask you something similar in our, speaking test that says, do you think the new road is a good thing or a bad thing? Why? Okay, do you have something in mind about this question?
Yeah. I think it's a good thing because, like you said, it connects the whole country, or it connects a lot of places that are maybe in like the countryside of Chile, or in this case. in
Mm-hmm.
this place, India. So I think it's always a good progress, and it changes, and it's a change for the better. And it provides jobs and the connectivity with other places, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is correct. Can you see any bad thing here? What could be something bad when we, if this road could be a bad thing, what could be something bad? Having a new road like this new superhighway.
Well, and here in Chile, we have like to pay a fare for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a bad thing. I don't know
Uh,
how it's called,
yeah,
but yeah,
you're right. Yeah, that could be a
they
bad thing.
are they are often very expensive, and we have to
Yeah,
pay for years and years and years, and it usually increases. It never You can never see like a saving in this thing, this fare.
yeah, exactly. So I think this is the maybe the disadvantage, right? In
Hmm.
these superhighways, we usually have to pay for using it because these people, say that they charge you some money on using, the superhighway because the idea is to maintain, you see, the superhighway in the, in the best, conditions. So, but I think it's maybe they can charge money, but not a lot of money because today it's very expensive. We have to pay a lot of money when we use, a highway or let's say a super highway, right? When you travel, for example, to the south of Chile, it's unbelievable, Kimberly, the amount of money that you have to pay. Well, when you go to the north, the same, right? Because when you go to the north, the highway is very good. I can tell you that no holes, for example. So this is good. They keep the highway in very good conditions, right? But I think it's too expensive what they charge, to to the people that drive, their cars or trucks or the also buses. So they pay more money than a private, car. But maybe they should think about reducing, maybe this amount of money. I think it's too expensive. Yeah. The good thing of this is that they keep the highway in good conditions. The bad thing is that too much money. We have to pay a lot of money. Right. Okay.
Yeah, and each
Uh-huh.
year increases all the time. So that's like, yeah, I guess the bad thing is that we can never see, like you said, like they reduce the amount that we have to pay. It always increases.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody controls, I think, this system of, maybe increasing, the amount of money that, drivers have to pay, or the owners of private, you see, cars, and also the people who have, buses, cars, etc. Because everybody pays. I don't know if the bicycle pays. I have never thought about that. I have never asked about this. Do you have any idea if people that use the road?
No.
Never. Okay, Tiare is connecting. Okay, yeah. I think they shouldn't, right? Maybe because they can. Hello, Tiare. Hello, Tiare.
Hello.
Okay, we're working with with Kimberly. We started. We just reviewed the reading, right? So anyway, this is being recorded, so you can then check the recording. And what you see in the screen is the vocabulary, right? That I checked to understand the title of the unit, and then some expressions that you find in the reading. Okay, so now we are going to start with, with Kimberly and with you now. We'll start checking after point number 5, that is about grammar predictions, right? Okay, here it says in number 6, exercise, well, first you have a, grammar predictions, that says predictions with will. Well, this is something very interesting to think about, because you have to know that in English, when we use predictions, most of the time we use will, right? This is when you are something that you have to be very clear. When we use predictions, right, and we use will, is because, the speaker is very sure about what he is saying. So that's why they use will. But it is also possible, babies, to use other structures, not only will. You can also use, for example, may, you can use might, and you can use could, right? But the difference is that, remember, will is when you are very sure, right? When we are certain, that's the idea, when we are certain, about. That's why we say, for example, I put an example in the guía that I sent. It's una guía. I wrote a special information about the use of future for predictions, because what you find in the book is little information. It's not enough to understand it. Okay, if you have that, if you have this guía, right? And I wrote that. The first thing that I put here is the use. I put grammar, future for predictions. Tiare, do you have that guía with you? ¿Tienes la guía contigo?
Yes.
Ah, good, excellent. Okay, so in this case, I put that. The first thing that I put is will first, that when we are certain. For example, if I say we are in 2020. Now, if I say let's say, for example, in 10 years, for example, Viña del Mar will have a new road that takes you from Viña to Reñaca. This is a project, right? But if I am certain about it, because the authorities and the Congress, have studied this project and they agree with the project, and I say that maybe in 10 years, Viña will have a new road that will connect, you see, Viña with Reñaca Concón, right? Because there is a project about that. Okay, so in this case, if I am certain about this, I use will, right? Most of the time. Or if I say, for example, next year, some students or a lot of students will, let's say, will pass, let's say, all the courses, and they will be in a new year. Studying pedagogy at UPLA. I'm certain about that because they have studied a lot. They have, they have been very responsible with their things, etc. I am certain, so I say that. Or, for example, now I wrote an example thinking about that I'm certain about because of what I have read, what I have listened to. You see, that in 2 years, or maybe less, babies, that scientists will find a cure for coronavirus. I'm certain about this because, the experts, scientists, maybe lots of people are working in this moment in order to find, you see, an injection or something like that. So that's why I'm sure, I'm certain. I say in 2 years, maybe, or less, in 1 year, or in 2 years, scientists will find, a cure for coronavirus. Okay? And then, well, you know that will has also a negative form, and I put it here. The negative of will in English is won't. And then we use, I told you, we can use may, we can use might, and we can use could. And in this case, when I use these things, it's when, for example, the speaker, you see, talks about something that he thinks is possible, but we are not certain. That's the idea. It's not as will. When you will, you're certain. Here I put some examples. For example, in 10 years, China could have the world's largest economy. What is the idea? The idea is, I use could, is that China has the ability, of course, but it's not certain that this will happen. You see, I can use could, because could gives you the idea of that it could be or it couldn't be. So that's why it's not certain that this will happen. And here we have the negative form of the other, structures that you can use. It's very simple. You just add not, may not, might not, could not. In the case of may gives the idea of, let's say, that is less certain, may. Puede que sí, puede que no. Eso es menos, less certain, may. Less certain that this will happen. When you say, for example, China may have, that's another prediction, in 10 years, China may have the world's largest economy. In 10 years, for example, China might have the world's largest economy. Yeah, this is far from certain. Más alejadito todavía, far from certain, right? When we say might, it's possible, but far from certain, right? Okay, so remember, in general, we have something that is very, let's say, important is will. Will all the time when we are certain, right? So if you are certain because you have read or because you have, let's say, watched, let's say, documentaries about something, so you're pretty sure you have information about something and you feel certain about that event or that fact, etc. And you use will for predictions. And you can use may, might, or could when you can think that something is possible, right? But we are not certain. That's the idea. We are not certain. So we can use the three of them. There are slight differences, but most of the time, think about this. Possible, but not certain. Okay? And then it's also interesting to know that you can use adverbs. For example, here in this case, we can use adverbs. Which adverbs that we most of the time use when we talk about predictions? We use certainly, definitely, probably, and possibly, right? With will or with won't, right? So why? Because the adverbs maybe also help you to think that something is more or less certain to happen. For example, I put here very certain and then at the end, not very certain. When you are very certain, you can use, for example, certainly, that's for sure, or definitely, which are synonyms. And if you use the negative, that you're very certain about something that is not going to happen, certainly not, or definitely not. And then if you continue with the degree of possibilities, right? When it says probably or possibly, those two adverbs. When it's positive, probably or possibly. Or if it is negative, probably not, or possibly not. And when you are not, of course, not very certain about something at the end, less probabilities, you say not very certain. We use possibly, I think possibly not, or yeah, possibly not. That's the idea that we use here. And then something very important that I put here is where we use or where you put the adverb in the sentence. That's important. For example, when you use the adverbs with the auxiliary will in English, the adverbs come between will and the main verb. For example, when you say the US will definitely have, you see, it goes between the will, which is considered an auxiliary, and the main verb that is have. Between both, you put the adverb. That's why we say the US will definitely have, or the US will certainly have, right? The world's largest economy is when you are sure. Certainly, and definitely gives you the idea that you are sure, okay, about something. So we're gonna say will, of course, that is used when the speaker is certain about it. So we use will definitely if you want to use the adverb. If you don't want to use the adverb, don't use it. But if you want to use one, you put it in this position. Or China, for example, when we are not like very certain, as in the first case, we're going to use probably, because that's the idea. Probably gives you that idea that we are not very certain. Probably, probablemente. No es seguro 100%. It's not sure, 100%. So, and you put it in the same position. China will, and then the adverb, will probably have. And if you use the negative form, yeah, here there is a change. Be careful with this. Be very careful with the position of the adverb when it's negative, because when it's negative, the position changes. And in this case, you use, for example, Nepal definitely won't have. You see where I put it? ¿Se fijaron dónde va? Va delante de. Dice, Nepal se pone después. Nepal al tiro, inmediatamente después. Nepal definitely, y de ahí viene la forma verbal. Won't, que es la negación del future, won't have the world's largest economy. No es, it's not the same as when you have the affirmative statements, right? When you say China will probably have, in between, remember, auxiliary and the main verb. But when it's negative, it changes. You say Nepal definitely, then you continue, won't have the world's largest economy. In this case, I'm not sure that this, will happen. So definitely won't have the world's largest economy. Okay, so in the practice, I'm going to use this first, and then I'm going to go back to the exercises in the book. Yeah, then we have a practice, right? It says, look at the predictions. Let me see. I'm going to, wait a minute. I'm going to take this. Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm going to stop. Yeah. I'm going to look for the year if I have it. So as for the students that are going to see this video, if well, it's there. Déjame compartir. Historical places, grammar, future for predictions. Yeah, this is the guía that we are reviewing with my students now that corresponds to the unit we are checking, grammar predictions. This is extra for you to understand it better. So we are here. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to check these exercises. Vamos a chequear these exercises, right? It says, practice, look at the predictions about the future. Put the word in the correct place in the tense, in the sentence. So which words? These ones. These are, adverbs. Definitely, possibly, probably, certainly, definitely again, possibly, probably, and definitely. Yeah. Okay. So I look at the sentence and it says, Earth's population will grow. Right? This is a prediction, right? So I say, for example, give me examples of predictions about the future. Well, I think let's say, in 10 years, Earth's population will grow. If you say that, it's correct. If you want to emphasize more, you can use an adverb, right? And in this case, for example, because you're going to be very sure, because will, remember, will shows that the speaker is certain, right, about what he's going to say, about the prediction that he's going to, give us. So in this case, because it's an affirmative form, and you have will grow. So this definitely, I'm going to put it here. Will, the Earth's population will definitely. So in this position here, I'm going to use will, aquí, right? So if I put it, I have to definitely here, right? So in this position, I have to use, the corresponding, you see, will definitely grow. So here is correct. Get it or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In the other example, right, that says we will pay to drive on all the roads. The same, right? We will pay to drive on all the roads. Yeah, maybe this is another, you see, prediction about the future. For example, I can say that let's say, in some years, we will pay to drive on all roads. This is a prediction about the future too. I can say in this way, and it's correct. But when you say possibly, it's because you're less certain, right? So here we want to put it in the correct way. We will, I think we are going to put it here, right? So possibly, right? The 1B. Possibly. So in this position, I put it there. Okay, so here it is. So we will possibly pay to drive on all roads. I think this is a prediction, and I think this maybe will happen in the future. We don't know, but it's a possibility, right? So it's a prediction that could happen or couldn't happen. That's why we say we will possibly pay. You see? So maybe you are not certain. We will possibly pay to drive on all roads. Maybe on España Avenue. We don't know, right? We are just giving predictions. They are predictions only. Okay, here it says in number 3, it won't rain this afternoon. You know, this is my prediction. Imagine that I can predict this. Maybe I can go to the balcony and I look at the sky, and this is my prediction, and I say it, yeah, negative here, won't. You see, it's negative, won't. And when it's negative, this probably also is not very sure. So I'm going to put it here. So the position changes because it's negative. So it probably, right? So, oops. Yeah. You see? So it probably won't rain this afternoon. Well, maybe I have this probably. It could be fantastic. It could be, I think that it could be something good. If I predict, if I'm very sure that it will rain, if I'm sure it will rain this afternoon, I know that this will happen, right? But in this case, I can tell you that it probably won't rain this afternoon because now we're having problems. You know, we are almost in a drought again, right? So maybe few possibilities of having rain. People will live longer. Yeah, in this case, where are you going to put it? Let's say Kimberly, for example, here in this case, people
will certainly live longer.
Yeah, exactly. People will certainly. Yes. So here you see, and I put it here. Exactly. This is correct, right? So people will certainly live longer, right? And this is something that I can predict because people are having better eating habits, right? And people are taking care of themselves, I think. So that's why my prediction, I think that we will certainly, so maybe I am certain about it, right? Good. Tiare, what about this? It says sea levels will rise, and it says definitely. That's why we say will. When you say definitely and certainly, it's because you as a speaker are certain about it. You're sure about it. So what are you going to put this adverb?
Sea levels will definitely rise.
Yeah, okay, will definitely. Yes, rise. Oops, correct. Espérate, vamos a ponerlo con rojito aquí. Se achicó. Yeah. Okay, will definitely rise. Okay. So, yeah. I see. Okay. Yeah. Life expectancy for people in the world will be 100 years. Yeah. This in parentheses says possibly. Possibly. So this is not definitely, not certainly, possibly. Yeah. Life expectancy for people in the world will be 100 years. Yeah. Kimberly, where are you going to put here in number 6?
Will possibly be 100 years.
Yeah, yes, will possibly, yes, be correct. So here we are going to put it here. I put it here. All right, this is correct. Will possibly, be 100 years, right? Or maybe more. We don't know. Today we have people that are 100 years and they are still alive. There will be more droughts, probably. It says probably, so probabilities, probably. So it's a prediction, but maybe we don't know if it will happen or not. So there will be more droughts. Tiare, where are you going to put it here?
will probably be.
Yeah, will, you see, sorry, will probably, yes, will probably be correct. This is correct, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Droughts as drown.
Drought means periods of time when there is no rain.
Oh, okay.
That's
Sequía.
drought. Yes, exactly. That's drought, right? So, for example, now Chile, we are having now drought, right? Because we haven't had rain for about 2 years. We are expecting now to have rain, but it has been, as you have seen, it has been very, I think, difficult. Maybe because of the niña, effect, el efecto de la niña, el fenómeno de la niña. When we have this, situation, so we have few possibilities of having rain. Cuando está el niño, I mean, this is the other, system. When we have the niño, for example, in that case, experts say that we can have more possibilities of having rain. Well, because of the internet, shopping, it says here shopping, shopping, there won't be as many stores. Because of the internet shopping, comma, yeah, I see. Because of the internet shopping, there won't be as many stores. Yeah. Where are you going to put it?
There definitely won't be.
Yeah. Yes, there, you see, definitely. Good. That's correct. Yeah. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. This is very important. So I'm going to record this. Yeah. Remember, this is the position of the adverbs when you talk about, predictions. Something very important. You can use these adverbs when you want to be, let's say, or when you want to emphasize something. Keeping in mind that when you're very certain, use definitely or certainly, right? And when you have, maybe when you think that this is, let's say, possible, well, you can use, possibly, or probability, probably, right? Okay, this is the only thing that you have to keep in mind. So it's not something terrible. And when you think about predictions, think about the future, because that's why we call future for predictions. And we can use, in all these cases, we are using, will. And to show you where you put, the adverb of time, right? And then here we have, in this case, what I put is, write sentences about the year 2040, right? With will, if you are certain, won't, for the negative, when you are certain about something that will not happen, may, or might, or even you can use could, remember. Use your own ideas. For example, it says, we have Wi-Fi connection in our clothes. Yeah. Imagine that I can say this, for example, if I think about the future, right? If I think about the future, and this is my prediction. I think that, for example, we won't have Wi-Fi connection in our clothes, right? This is a prediction, because remember that we don't know what will happen in, let's say, 50 years. So we will, instead of this, right, we won't have, Wi-Fi connection in our clothes. Instead, we will have them, connection, Wi-Fi connection or connections, on our heads. This is the idea. So Wi-Fi connection in our clothes. So we will have them, have the connections in our clothes on our heads, not in our clothes. Instead of this, in our head. Get it or not? This is an idea. Do you understand or not? Here is connections.
Yes.
Connections. Wait a minute. I want to add the S here. Connections. Right. Yeah, here. Think about predictions for this year, 2040. So we say, for example, in the year 2040, cars, yeah, and it says need a human driver. Yeah. What can you think about a prediction for the future in terms of cars and also thinking about a human driver like me, like you know, the people that we know, human driver. What are you going to put here? For example, I say in the year 2040. Yeah, for example, if I put this in, oops, maybe here. Yo no sé si lo voy a poder escribir acá, pero voy a hacer in, se me va a correr, in the year 2040. Okay. I think you can write whatever you want, but I'm going to put something. We won't. For example, if I put this in the year 2040, we won't need human drivers. I'm going to use plural, to example plural as general, como general, right? Yeah, in the year 2040, we won't need human cars. We, I think this is my opinion, right? We will have, for example, computers that will drive our, you know, cars. This is my idea. You can write another idea, okay? But I am Kimberly and Tiare. I am pretty sure, I am certain that this will happen in the year 2040. Imagine that we are in 2020. So maybe in 20 years, right? We won't need human drivers, right? We will have computers that will drive our cars. So I can program, for example, my car. Well, now there are some cars that have computers and they are testing, you know, if they work properly or not now. So maybe in 2040, we will have computers that will drive our cars. This is my prediction, you know, for this year. And since I am very sure, is that I put, we will have computers that will drive our cars. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Get it? Yeah.
Would it work if I
What is your idea? What can you tell me in this case? ¿Qué pusieron en este caso? What did you write? Or what can you write in this case as a prediction?
I wrote, cars won't need a human driver. We will probably have robots as drivers.
Yeah, very good. Another possibility, excellent. We will maybe, it's good, yeah. Or we will probably, you know, have robots, yes, yeah, in our cars. Good, yes. Tiare, do you have something?
No, miss, I use your example.
Yeah, but do you understand what we are saying, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What about this one, for example? It says, people live to be 120 years old. Yeah, so can you make a prediction? Can you use here these right sentences and using your own opinion here? Like what we did in this case or what, you know, Kimberly did. For example, in this case, what are you going to write? People, for example, in this case.
I wrote, people will probably live up to 120 years old.
Yeah, okay, good. And you can add your own opinion, Kimberly. Why? Why do you think this? What do you think this? What do you think this prediction will happen or will probably happen? What are people, you know, maybe doing that make you think that they will, you know, probably live up to 120 years old? Because of the diets?
Yeah, maybe for a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe because people, you know, are having in this moment, you know, people are having a better lifestyle and also a healthy life, right? And maybe in the near future, people will take care of themselves more than what they do now. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Tiare, what about you? It says robots cook our meals. What is your prediction for this? Can you make a sentence using a prediction using robots and the idea of cook meals?
Robots will possibly cook our meals.
Yeah, robots will possibly cook our meals. Okay, yeah. You can give your opinion because you can say because robots will be cheaper in the future. So many people will have, you know, or many people might, for example, might possibly have one at home because they will be cheaper, right? This is when you say give your opinion, right? Like what we put here is, you know, we will have etc. Or what I mean, Kimberly said that people will live, you know, up to let's say 120 years old because of the diets they are having now or the lifestyle they are having that will be better. Okay, there be pens and pencils. Kimberly, what about this? There will be or there won't be. There won't or there probably won't. Okay, Kimberly? Here, pens and pencils. What is your idea here? I'm not.
I wrote in the year 2040, there will probably be pens and pencils that are technological.
Yeah, there. So there probably won't be. When it's negative, remember, when it's negative, the order changes.
Oh, okay.
Recuerda, cuando es negación, when it's negative, the order changes. So in the year 2040, there, you say probably won't be pens and pencils. Yeah. What is your opinion? People will use, instead of, you know, pens and pencils, what is your opinion? What will people use? What is your prediction? Maybe we won't have you know, pens and pencils anymore, and we will have other devices or other things to write.
Laptops, computers.
Yeah. Or maybe we will use our voice
Maybe.
to write, because I can tell the computer, for example, okay, the use of future for predictions, and the computer starts taking notes. I mean, using my voice instead of using, for example, I mean, here a piece of paper and my pen or my pencils. I can have my tablet or my cell phone, and in my cell phone I can, you know, say, for example, okay, so please use my voice and take notes, right? And the computer starts taking notes. That could be an example, or not, Kimberly?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. Now, number 6, it says we use our mobiles to turn on everything. Yeah. So, Tiare, can you think about a prediction for the 2040 using this sentence? We use our mobiles to turn on, to switch on everything. You can turn on everything, maybe the computer, your computer. You can turn on, let's say, the equipment. You can turn on the lights of all your houses, of all your house. You can turn on the, let's say, the washing machine. You can turn on the microwave oven. You can turn on the vacuum cleaner, etc.
We will definitely use our mobiles to turn on everything.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
the
Mobile.
technology will be very advanced.
Yeah, okay. The technology will be very advanced. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, I think I agree with you. Number 7, Kimberly, it says, I work in an office, I work at home. I work in an office, I work at home.
I think I wrote it wrong. I wrote, in the future, we won't work in an office. We will certainly work from home.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Yes, absolutely. Maybe in the year 2040, I won't work in an office. I will probably, work at home, or I will certainly, if you're very sure, I will certainly work at home using my computer. Yeah. Okay. And then it says, answer the questions. Look at this. Here we have to answer using predictions, right? For example, what will school be like in 2030? We are in 2020. Think about 10 years. What will school be like in 2030? Maybe a school, what will school be like? Maybe school.
Students will certainly use computers.
Yeah, okay. Students,
Not. Mhm.
yeah, students will certainly work with computers. That's what you said?
Yes.
Okay, Tiare. All right. Yeah, what else can we think about the school? Maybe students, I think, let me think about something. Students, probably won't attend classes from Monday to Friday. Students will probably attend 3 days a week. The rest of the days, they will probably work, in their computers at home. For example, I'm thinking about 2030, I'm not sure. We're just making predictions. Remember, they will happen or they won't happen. Will there be teachers, Kimberly?
I wrote, in the year 2040, students will possibly have robots as teachers.
Yeah, okay, good. That's a possibility, yes. 3, will students study through computer only? It says, will students study through computer only? Kimberly or Tiare, any of you? Will students study through computer only? I don't think so, because we need teachers. Teachers are important. So what are you going to say here? Will students study through computer only?
Students probably won't study through computer on.
Students, wait. Students, yeah, probably won't. Yeah, students probably won't. Negative.
Study
through
computers only.
Yeah. Okay. All right. They will probably study with, or they will probably study with teachers, right? Okay, attending school, etc. Okay, number 4, Kimberly, what kind of subjects will students learn? Robotics, genetic engineering? Think about the future, 2030. What kind
Students will certainly learn about new languages, robotics, and other subjects.
Yes, I agree. I think that we will have new subjects like robotics. Robotics, will be an important, subject for the future. Good. Okay. Kimberly, did you now understood what I wanted to ask you in this exercise?
Yeah, I understand now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good. Excellent. So now we can go back and let's go now to the book. Please go to the book. Go to the book. Where's the book here? Number 4. What is it?
Okay.
It's here. Okay.
Otra clase como en 5 minutos
Oh,
más.
baby, it's 9:30. So let me media. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop here, and we are going to continue next class. Try to do the exercises in here in number 7 as the homework, because for me it's important to clarify these uses, right? For you to understand. That's why I decided to do this activity with you. So as a homework, you can do exercise number 7. I'm going to put here homework for Friday, and we can finish on Friday. And maybe we can have also an activity, extra activity for practicing using predictions, right? Okay. So we can continue the next class, because you have classes maybe, and I have classes. All right. So
Okay.
any questions? So thank you very much, and I want to stop this.
So